As always, I present myself as an unapologetic opinion. Whenever I talk about an issue that involves my community, the government, or the media, I always expect that my subscribers, my friends, and the many supporters of my videos to praise the work. However, there are critics out there who will challenge me on the way I present myself in these videos. So to all my critics who are watching me once again, prove me wrong. This is the Gallup Poll. The Gallup Poll right now says President Obama's job approval is 45, 47. 45 approved, 47 disapproved. So it's marginally in the mid 40s. All right, the problem here with President Obama on TV, on radio, and across the internet, this whisper campaign has been going around. Conservatives and even liberals are getting frustrated with the president, and it's mostly to do with the economy. Last night, he had made an address to the nation about ending Operation Iraqi Freedom. The 7-year war had lasted throughout most of President George W. Bush's second term. During that term, we saw casualties increase, trillions of dollars being spent, and godless anger towards one another over how the handling of the war and how President George W. Bush's ratings went from 90% during the 2001 tragedy to just about over 30% at the end of his closing. President Barack Obama is now running around the same strategy, continue the war in Afghanistan, try to end the war in Iraq. Millions of his base, which is the progressive side of the liberal Democratic Party, they are very upset with the president because he praises George W. Bush as a patriot. Now, again, this is how I look at the society that we're in. He can never do anything right. He's damned if he do, he's damned if he don't. President George W. Bush deserves some credit. I mean, he's the one that initially found Saddam Hussein, killed that al-Zawahiri guy, and led the surge, which had stabilized some of the problems that are in Iraq. And David Petraeus, who's the general in Afghanistan, is now being called upon to at least stabilize the government in Afghanistan. And it's President George W. Bush and President Barack Obama are like a rock and a hard place. They are damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. The base won't like it, the base will love it. It's like conservatives were complaining that he didn't thank President Bush enough. And then the liberals complain he thanked Bush too much. This is why our society is totally stupid. Americans are so divisively charged up with these socially political issues, which involves their race, their gender, their sexuality, their level of income, their stances on the war, or their stances against the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Right now, you just see this. The Americans give the GOP the edge on most election issues, as well as a 10-point lead. The Democratic Party had led a wave of elections since 2006. Now, in 2010, based on the fear and loathing of the Republican Party and the Tea Party movement, which insurgently usurped Lisa Murkowski, Bob Bennett, Parker Griffith, and Bob Innes. These are the powers that are scaring up the white voters, scaring up the unemployed voters, and the moderate to liberal independents who could swing from independent and to conservative in certain times. My problem here with the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party is like this bark over bark. You got all teeth but no bite. The Republican Party has no strategy if they do happen to take over Congress. All they're going to do is put us in the same mess they put us in when former President George W. Bush got in. The Republicans really use the things that are normal of what's going on, as well as the Democratic Party. They play on the race, they play on the fear. The Democratic Party had done that too, because they wouldn't be pulling out Mark Foley's the scandal with Mark Foley or the Larry Craig scandal. They wouldn't be pulling out any of the stuff that involves David Vitter or George Allen. But the Republicans are very good at what they do. Right now, since President Obama got in, there's been a whisper campaign about his birth certificate, his Christian beliefs or his Muslim beliefs, whether he supports the terrorists or he doesn't support the terrorists, whether he's doing an effective job with this economy or he's doing a horrible job with this economy. It's like a hodgepodge of information through a whisper campaign, through the internet, through television and radio. Our society picks up on it, and then they got their horns locked in, and then they come to my page where they see a person giving their honest opinion about an issue, and then they're told, you don't need a welfare handout, you don't need this, you don't need that, and it's frustrating. So to all my critics who are watching, you will get your feelings hurt, especially when you make an extreme comment. People don't know me. Some may know me, some may not know me, but I'm basically being who I am. I'm giving you an honest opinion about an issue. If it affects my life, it affects your life. Whether it doesn't put food on your table, keep the lights on in your home, or even keep the car in your driveway, this economy is the most important issue facing our society. Despite all this talk about gay marriage in California, illegal immigration in Arizona, and the Islamic Cultural Center in New York, the thing here is that if it's not putting food on your plate or keeping these lights on or keeping this home, you have nothing to worry about from me because it doesn't apply to me. Job creation's up, but it's slightly down. The summer of recovery, as President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden said it. Well, honestly, I really do understand this plight of being the president of the United States. You make tough decisions. You're going to face flack for it. Whether you support the president's views or you don't support the president's views, it's going to always be someone always giving them flack. Before I go, I want to go into this Glen Beck issue. Glen Beck had that Restore and Honor rally. I don't know how many people attended, probably in the thousands. I'm not going to give you an estimate. I'm not going to give you a broad generalization of it. All I can say is that the controversial talk show host had that controversial preacher, Alveda King, going around spreading this controversy, saying that they want to restore honor and they want to bring God into the world. And, of course, they want to claim Dr. Martin Luther King, a nonpartisan, as a Republican. I'm going to be bluntly honest. It's just their right to speak their mind. I don't agree with their opinion, and that's just basically it. To all those who are watching me, thank you for watching me on YouTube.